Greetings and salutations, fans and family, friends and neighbors, lovers and losers of all kinds. This is just an observation, and I am your host, Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom, welcoming you to the show. Today's observation is going to be some of the greatest radio show introductions, as far as I am concerned, from the days of the golden age of radio. Now, when I say introduction, I not only mean the music, but there was almost always some sort of opening dialogue that went with the introduction. And I'm not talking about the sponsorship, I'm talking about the actual description of the show. So sit back and enjoy some of what I feel are the greatest radio introductions from the golden age of radio. Today we're going to start out with The Whistler. On CBS West Coast Radio from 1942 to 1955, with East Coast attempts at this radio show from 1946 and 1948, and a television series that was syndicated in 1954. I love this intro so much that the narration part of it is the ringtone on my phone, and this is what I hear every time somebody calls me.
I am the Whistler, and I know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. Yes, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak.
Another one of my favorite radio shows is The Adventures of Nero, Wolfe, which appeared on the NBC Radio Network in 1950 and 1951, starring Sidney Greenstreet as Rex Stout's overweight, orchid-loving, gourmet-eating Nero Wolfe.
Greatest detective in the world. The only trouble is, he is.
Yes, listeners, Archie is so right. He is the greatest detective in the world, and the fattest, and the least energetic. He's Nero Wolfe, created by Rex Stout, and brought to you over this NBC network in a new series of adventures by Mr. Sidney Greenstreet.
This next introduction is going to be from one episode of a show that lasted 20 years on the radio and was was the very last of the golden age of radio shows to have been broadcast. And that final broadcast was on the 30th of September of 1962. Now, one of the most famous plays of this show, called Suspense, which started on the 17th of June of 1942, is Sorry, Wrong Number, written by Lucille Fletcher and starring Agnes Moorehead.
Suspense. This is the Man in Black, here again to introduce Columbia's program, Suspense. Our star tonight is one of the most compelling actresses in America today, Miss Agnes Moorehead. Miss Moorehead returns to our stage to appear in a new study in terror by Lucille Fletcher called Sorry, Wrong Number. This story of a woman who accidentally overheard a conversation with death and who strove frantically to prevent murder from claiming an innocent victim is tonight's tale of suspense.
The episode Sorry Wrong Number was so important in Suspense's history that it was portrayed by Agnes Moorehead 7 or 8 different times using the same script, and she put the same feeling into it every time. Now, I will say I will be covering Sorry Wrong Number on Just an Observation at some point in the future because it is that good an episode. The last introduction I want to showcase today is going to be Richard Diamond, Private Detective. Now, I've already covered this series when it came to writers. It was written by Blake Edwards most of the time. But this show is one of my favorites to listen to because it has a detective story, it's part fun, it has music. As a matter of fact, Dick Powell sings in it at the end most episodes. It is an all-around great show, and this is its intro.
Here's Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, Private Detective.
And with that, we're going to call it a day on Old Time Radio Greats, the introductions here on Just an Observation. Now, I will tell you there will be more episodes like this because there are more old-time radio shows that I absolutely love, and the introductions are fun, and I want to share them with you because that's what I do. I want to thank you all for watching Just an Observation and know that I appreciate each and every one of you for spending some time with me in my little sojourn into old-time radio. And always remember, live life as if awesome is a downgrade.